Okay, day 189, I think this is part 7. I just met with OR nurse who worked with some of the most famous surgeons in transplant technology over the last 35 years. So we're talking Starzl for livers. He's the one who started it at the University of Denver. We're talking with Chumley, who was at the University of Denver, then went on to start the heart transplant program at Stanford. Then Starzl went to Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, to do the liver transplants. But then pancreas came in, and then lungs, and then all the other stuff, as well as the bone transplants. One thing I learned about bone transplants is in a lot of break situations, you need long pieces of bone. So again, my bones would be great for what they call struts, to put on either side of a bone and then wrap it with wire. And so I didn't realize that those were so expensive. Also, just making the body more valuable, making targeting and murder even more valuable. I also want to do a shout out to the counterterrorism division at FBI. I think I used too broad a brush, and it's, I think, a small group within the counterterrorism division at FBI. From what I saw this morning, all the kind of fake terror and fake explosions, this was exactly the signature of Andrew McCabe in the Portland Christmas tree bomber case. It was the same thing with the Somali kids, trying to radicalize the Somali kids with a few mujahideen in there to poison the well, and then blame it on the Somali kids and let them bear the brunt of all this stuff. And what I've learned through this process, going from place to place and actually talking to the people where these explosions are and all these different, it's okay for Muslim gangs to rape women and all that sort of thing, that's this rhetoric. This all comes from the counterterrorism division at FBI, and it's really just a few guys from CIA that have come over in that program that I talked about with Hillary, which is the 1998 Bill Clinton signed, which is the Presidential Decision Directive 62, which asked, believe it or not, the CIA to come over and help the FBI in their disruption campaign. A lot of what is coming out in the deaths of these, particularly in the stars that this person worked in Los Angeles and then New York and so forth, or knew of teams that work there, is this use of propofol. And so I was right on the money with this use of propofol and why it's a very risky drug. But if you are a convict that's been brought out of jail by the Department of Justice, and I get you papers to say you're a nurse anesthetist, then you can still administer propofol. So you this is the angel of death scenario, you at 1 a.m. can administer, cause a stroke, cause a coma. Now we're set up for an organ transplant. Or if you even cause death, the body is still worth quite a bit of money. So this is where, again, the use of propofol, the use of nurse anesthetists, I really would recommend a national medical check, especially if the person has a revenge motive that's been implanted in them. If they've taken medical school somewhere else, especially in Pakistan or Iran or UAE, I think we have to look at that. And I'm not saying all, I'm not even saying a few, but you only need one to rack up at one hospital system hundreds of bodies, and that's, of course, hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's my report. From there, now I'm going to go meet yet another person who's a contributor to the channel. So sorry I'm not answering my comments very much today, but I'm just meeting a lot of people. I may go and meet Field O'Connell in Wisconsin if people try to contact him and convince him that that's a good idea. I know a little bit about his work with Able Danger, but I really don't know a bit about it. So, but a lot of people have said, you guys should talk. So I'm open to it if he wants me to drive there to his hometown.